9:30 a.m. here at Denbigh High School, Luton. Today's top stories: Brexit and immigration, are there too many changes in education, how to be mindful and the importance of your personal well-being, the recent fluctuation of the strength regarding cryptocurrencies, more specifically Bitcoin, the dangers of prolonged gaming accompanied with an insightful study into this matter. Finally, we will look at the story at Luton Town Football Club's successes over the last few years.
Firstly, we will look into the increased difficulties of the new 9-to-1 GCSE curriculum, whether these changes are good or are they only causing stress for young teenagers across the UK. Over to the reporters, Maida and Musa.
Are there too many changes in education? A question asked by many, but what exactly is the answer?
We have Mrs. Puffer here and she will tell us how she feels about this.
So, Mrs. Pather, do you think that there have been too many changes in education?
Yes, I've been teaching for 20 years and I have seen at least 3 reforms to education. But the important thing to note is that educational reforms are always in the best interest of young people. It's there to design a curriculum and an assessment system that allows schools to prepare our young children for challenges in a very fast-moving world. So it is important that we have reforms as often as we do.
Your students will be taking their GCSEs this summer. How do you feel about this? Do you think they will do well even with the new grading system?
Absolutely, they will do well. At Denbigh High School, every teacher is committed to delivering a high-quality teaching and learning. And whilst we're in a period of change with the new 9-to-1, I am confident that teachers are preparing for the best results through meticulous planning, collaboration with one another and colleagues, and keep fully abreast with publications from examination boards. And we're always doing everything that we possibly can to motivate and support our students in getting the best results possible.
Well, thanks for your opinions.
Thousands of children pass their exams in the UK, or will that still be possible? Will children get the same results and be happy?
Or will they be failing because of the more challenging grading?
The grading will be changed to numbers 1 to 9, with 9 being the highest and 1 the lowest. A star does no longer exist.
We have been asked many questions and we'll try our best to answer them. So firstly, when do the new 1 to 9 grades come in?
The new grades are being phased in, starting with some of this summer's exams.
So some teenagers have a mix of GCSEs under different subjects and marking schemes?
Yes, the current year 11s will get English and Maths results under the new numerical grading scheme, and the rest of the options will be graded A star to G.
Why are they changing?
We found this on the government website. We are committed to driving the highest standards in schools. That's why we have revised our GCSE qualifications in England to make them more demanding. We have done this so our young people have the knowledge and skills they need to succeed in the 21st century Britain and to match those of their peers in high-performing education systems elsewhere in the world. The new, more challenging GCSEs will help young people develop the skills that employers tell us they need.
So our answer to the big question is?
Yes, there are too many changes that will constantly affect the children, but the government has tried to do what's best for the children.
Well, that's all from us, and hopefully you have learned something new about the GCSE grading system.
Wow, thanks girls. We hope you now have a background on the changes in education and how it will affect the future of students taking GCSEs right across the country. Could it be too hard, or are they just preparing us for the future changes in jobs? What do you think? You can tweet us at Denbigh High for your opinions.
Now we'll be looking at a report based on mindfulness and well-being and how you can keep yourself healthy and also being mindful of others and yourself.
So what is well-being ambassador for you?
It's just making sure that we have our community safe and that everyone is happy in the community, and just making sure we can care about others with our own help.
What makes you choose these jobs?
I genuinely like helping people, so I think being a well-being ambassador was a really good job for me.
If you have to give an advice for someone who is coming to this role, what would you say?
I would say it's a really good opportunity and I should definitely come and speak to one of the well-being ambassadors that are already there and just ask it how it is.
And as you, by doing this, what do you get from doing this? What kind of experience
I think for experience, I just can see how other people are like, and it also helps me to understand what they may be going through.
As a physical education teacher, what is mindfulness for you?
But mindfulness to me is really quite important. It's actually something that Mrs. Dashwood does with the PE team at different times, and it's really important to get that separation between the stresses and challenges of everyday life, to be able to calm yourself, reassess, reevaluate, be nice and focused, nice and positive. And I think a positive mindset is particularly important in sport to be able to overcome those challenges.
So sport is very important for the people, but if we combine sport and mindfulness, what kind of results together?
Yeah, well, I think it's about a positive mindset. So having a positive mindset is important in sport because it helps you believe you're going to overcome any obstacle, that you can meet your challenges. It can keep you positive towards your training, your exercise, your healthy and active lifestyle and well-being. It can help you focus for tasks too. So for example, if you're taking a penalty in sport, you can drown out the distractions, get your breathing mechanisms right, refocus and meet that task.
So what is mindfulness?
So mindfulness is a way of training your mind to come into the present moment. So rather than being preoccupied on past events or future events, you can, with regular practice, train your mind to actually focus on the present moment. It's really good for dealing with your emotions, because for some people they find that really overwhelming. And it's also really good for focus. So particularly in school, students use it a lot to just simply focus on their lessons.
Does mindfulness have impact on exams?
At the moment, a lot of Year 11s are feeling a bit stressed and a bit overwhelmed, and I've been doing a lot of work with them, practicing the mindfulness exercises, and the feedback that I've had is really favourable. They tell me that it keeps them calm, it keeps them grounded, it allows them to really focus on, the task ahead. And with the exams coming up in a matter of a couple of months, for them they really need that. So it's quite beneficial to them.
Some students are not very confident by talking to others about their well-being. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's more easier to them by talking with a partner?
So you mean a fellow student?
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe that other students need people of their own age to talk to, and that was the idea behind interviewing for Wellbeing Ambassadors, because I felt that some students weren't comfortable with talking to an adult or another teacher, and that having someone there in their own age group, in their own year group, would really help them. So that was the idea behind it, really.
The teacher has chosen the students because it's more easier to them. It's more easier for who need help to talk with someone in there, like a friend. But the amount of people that have involved in this role, are very expecting that result of the amount of people that are taking. So the school has chosen well-being ambassador to help others.
Yes.
For the amount of people I've taken to this role, are you expecting that from the students?
So the skills that are required for a Wellbeing Ambassador, and when I was interviewing, I was looking for someone that has empathy. So empathy is a sound understanding and almost like putting yourself in that person's shoes. So it's very different from sympathy, where you can just feel sorry for somebody. So that's a key skill of a Wellbeing Ambassador. And again, just having the time to listen, because so many students that I've come across in my work over the last 18 months have not had someone to listen to them. So that was the key skill that I thought would be good, listening and empathy.
What is well-being ambassador for you?
Well-being ambassador is being there for someone well-being ambassador is being there for someone in need, for example, when they start new school.
To me, well-being ambassador is to be understanding for someone with self-organizing.
I like it because I get to help people like when they're struggling and stuff from there.
Why do you like to be a well-being ambassador?
because you get to help people.
I also enjoy being a wellbeing ambassador because you get to see the good in people and being positive.
It's something that you can enjoy helping people, and they enjoy having a student there's a teacher who can they might get in trouble for it, or when you have a student they're nice and they're kind about it.
By doing this role, what kind of experience do you get?
When you can also learn not from making people feel bad about themselves, but also it can help you too.
You learn about mindfulness and how you can help people whatever they're feeling.
If you have to give an advice for someone who is applying for this job, what will you say to them?
You have to be confident, and you can't show you have to be confident and can't tell people their story.
You have to be able to have good communication skills when talking to one another.
Try to understand them and always be there for them. Well, that was great. Brilliant work. We hope you now have a background on this and now will start to be mindful and keep yourself healthy.
Next, we will look at a two-part story. The first part is about Luton Town Football Club and their performance compared with other world-class teams. In the second part of the story, we will indulge into a video game study and its relevance today. This story includes myself, Sohaib, Henry, Mahfouz and Yasin. Over to you, boys. Hello, my name is Mohim.
And my name is Henry.
And today, this is our second story on the BBC Score Report about Luton Town Football Club. So, how did Luton Town get to the top of the table?
Luton Town have played 34 games.
Luton Town have won 20 out of their 34 games.
Luton Town have lost 8 of their 34 games.
Luton Town have drawn 6 out of their 34 games.
Luton Town have scored 74 goals.
And they have conceded 34 goals.
The goal difference for Luton and second place Accrington Stanley are 20 goals.
Up until now, this is the best runs Luton Town have produced. What do Luton Town think about being at the top of the table? Recently, BBC Sport interviewed Nathan Jones, the manager of Luton Town, and this is what he had to say.
We don't compare ourselves to Man City. They're on a different planet to us in terms of many things.
This is what Nathan Jones told us. Also, he said, but we're very proud to be top scorers in the country. That's something which we want to work on. It's something which we want to keep doing. We are a positive side, and that's fine.
Welshman Jones, who is 44 in his first managerial post, having left the backroom star at Brighton to take charge of the Hatters in January 2016.
He was named League 2 Manager of the Month for December. The second month in a row he has picked up the award.
We have scored 7 twice, scored 8, 4s, 5s, 3s. So we're attacking side, Jones said.
Nathan Jones also said that I don't think Man City goals are going to dry up. So if you can stay a goal ahead of them for the rest of the season, I'm sure we'll be in a good place. Here is a small bio of Luton Town manager Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jason Jones is a retired Welsh professional footballer who played as a left back. He is currently the manager of League 2 club Luton Town. Here are some facts about the Luton Town manager Nathan Jones.
His career ended in 2012. He played as a defender. So far has coached Charlton Athletic FC under 23s, and he's also managed Charlton Athletic FC's academy.
What a story talking about new stadium plans for Luton Town.
The previous chairman, Nick Down, has purchased new fresh land for this new 17,500 seater stadium. A stadium will be located in Power Court, close to the previous stadium, Kenilworth Road. The club have identified that this location is an ideal location for a new ground. Luton Town Football Club confirmed that the land purchase had been completed after a planning application in August.
The Hatters have been at Kenilworth Road since 1905. They hope to move in 2020. What about the new stadium?
This is where the stadium is going to be built, in Power Court. Plans became, however, more concrete in 2015 when the club identified the Power Court site in Luton Town Centre along the railway tracks as their preferred site and started a public consultation process. The club started a formal application process in the summer of 2016 and purchased the land later in the year. What do Luton Town think of this development?
The football sister club company 2020 Developments made an announcement on Twitter in December 2017.
It said, "Power in our hands. We are delighted to announce that the transaction for 2020 developments to purchase the freehold of Power Court from British Land PLC has been completed this morning and ahead of schedule.
The future's bright, the future's orange.
Luton Town Football Club Chief Executive Gary Sweet said, "I am so pleased to be able to confirm this key deal for the football club and the town as a whole.
It's a milestone achievement in both history. We see this as a vital for the regeneration as a historic part of Luton Town.
Luton Town Football Club are working with 2020 developments along with and architects." Now, here's one of our news articles. Luton Town squad in wonderful place, says manager Nathan Jones.
Luton Town manager Nathan Jones has held the depth of his squad despite losing to League One Peterborough penalties and Chickadee Trophy in January 2018.
Jones made 10 changes to the FA Cup team that was beaten 3-1 at Premier League team Newcastle United on January and saw his side go out 7-6 on penalties.
We're more than a match for the side at division above with 10 changes, he told BBC Three Counties Radio. It just shows we're in a wonderful place in terms of the squad.
The 44-year-old added, "I'm gutted at going out of the competition, but not with the performance."
It's the second team from a high division that hasn't changed one player, and against us, we've acquitted ourselves fantastically well.
Jones' side are 4 points clear at the top of League 2 with an 11-point buffer to the playoff places. We had 3 of our 4 really young players given a test tonight and they've come through it massively, Jones said.
We're getting tested by a side in the league above us. That's going for promotion and we have made 10 changes to the side.
I'm delighted that it shows how deep my squad is that they can cope in not only this level but the one above. Article. The late Luton Town Stadium decision unfathomable.
A football club chief executive said it's unfathomable that the decision of a proposed stadium of up to 23,000 seats has been taken so long. Luton Town Football Club submitted a planning application to Luton Borough Council in August 2016. Writing in the club programme, Gary Sweet said that the delay of the proposed Power Court development was costly to the club. The council said it was working to ensure the issues are resolved. The football club is waiting to see if it can build a new stadium, 550 apartments, bars, restaurants, a 1,800 live venue, hotel and car park on the Power Court site.
Mr. Sweet said the club's sister company 2020 Developments. Mr. Sweet said the club's sister company 2020 Developments was attending an important global property exhibition in Cannes in March. We have politely asked the council to be mindful of the fact that visiting Cannes at great expense without having a planning decision after 20 months of consideration will create a not insignificant delay in progressing with the project.
I am beginning to find it unfathomable how something so positive and already so dated upon submission can take so long. It is incredibly disappointing and costly. If we were to miss this key time frame, a Luton Borough Council spokeswoman said they completely understand and share some of the frustration by the delays, but many have been outside the control of the council and the club.
She said, a funded assessment and a final technical report needs to be reviewed by independent experts. We should be in a position at the end of April to announce the date of the Special Development Control meeting where the applications will be considered, she said.
The football club hopes to fund the stadium project by developing a retail and office site called Newlands Park on land it owns near Junction 10 of the M1. That project also required approval from the Luton Borough Council.
Thank you for listening.
And welcome to our second report on video games.
In this report, we'll tell you about popular video games and how they affect our lives.
We know that video games can be fun, but they can also be very dangerous.
Firstly, how many people play video games worldwide?
Well, there are over 1.2 billion gamers across the planet, with sales reaching up to $100 billion, which is the same as £65 billion. The reason why games are addictive is because of gaming addiction, which is listed as a mental health condition for the first time by the World Health Organization. It suggests that gaming behavior should be in evidence over 12 months, but added that period might be shortened if symptoms are severe. Symptoms include impaired control over gaming, frequency, intensity, and duration. Increased priority given to gaming. It could lead to confused parents whose children are just enthusiastic gamers.
However, most people say it depends on the reality of the video game.
In addition, violent video games are found to have long-term effects on a person's empathy and some games could actually improve their cognitive ability in gamers. Research groups have concluded factors such as family background, mental health, or simply being male are more significant in determining their level of aggression.
On the other side, however, the more realistic a game is, the more likely that exposure will make a game aggressive. In addition, the BBC says that over 200 of the academics says that there's a link between aggression and violent video games. In laboratory studies, some researchers have found an increase of about 4% in gamers' levels of aggression after playing video games.
Wow, a very good story on how video games can be good and fun, but also the dangers gaming can bring to us.
The next story will look into the recent surge and increased popularity of cryptocurrencies all around the world. More specifically, we will focus on Bitcoin, the founding online currency made by the unknown computing mastermind for whom we only have an alias for, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Hello and good morning to all viewers in the UK and internationally. Today our main story is about the rise of cryptocurrencies. They have gained lots of popularity, and so we have two special guests here with us, Mukit and Abdul Rahman. Welcome to the show. So to begin with, what is cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency is ideally virtual money that is of course online, and one thing that is significant about this is that it's not affected by politics, and also this money you cannot hold and touch, which makes it very unique. That's to put in simple words.
So what is Bitcoin worth today?
Currently, Bitcoin about 3 weeks ago was worth around £7,000. However, when we checked 2 weeks ago, that changed to 8,600 along those lines. And so we can see that within 1 week, it already increased by 1,000. However, we saw at the end of 2017 where it was worth around 18.5 grand, and that dropped to 10,000 and then further went to 7,000 as we said before. So we can see that the prices fluctuate very often on very big amounts.
Alright, so we know how popular cryptocurrencies are and how there's many traders and sellers and buyers. Where did this entire thing begin?
Cryptocurrencies all began with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created by an unknown entity, so we still don't know who made it. But we know the nickname of the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. On October 31st, 2008, Nakamoto created a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And it wasn't until January 8th, 2009 that the cryptocurrency actually began. By July 22nd, 2014, the first company allowed Bitcoin as payment. So that's Air Baltic planes. They tweeted that they accept Bitcoin as payment for their flights. And from their Bitcoin blasted off to that, now you can buy all kinds of computer parts, planes and other services online.
So, Mukit, what is your opinion on Bitcoin? Is it worth investing to today?
Well, I'd just like to clarify that Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency. There are over 1,100 cryptocurrencies also out there. But if we're talking generally in terms of cryptocurrencies, yes, I would say it is a great idea to invest in because, as I mentioned before, it is not affected by politics. And especially when you have ongoing situations that are happening today, like Brexit, we see that the outcomes are still we are still unaware about the outcomes, and the strength of the pound is decreasing as we see it. But cryptocurrency, we won't see that.
And Abdul Rahman, what would be your opinion on this?
I think it's a bad idea to invest in Bitcoin now. It would have been a good idea 2 years ago, maybe even last year. But now that it's blasted off to 18,000, tons of people have been investing as much money as they can into it, hoping to gain some money out of it. But unfortunately, it means now that those people invested 18.5 grand into it have now wasted about 10 grand because it's dropped. So I would suggest only to invest in it when it's very low. Like a couple of weeks ago, for 1 hour only, Bitcoin dropped to £200, which was its all-time low for the past couple months since 2018 started.
Haven't there been any hacking issues or anything with Bitcoin?
Not with Bitcoin, but with another Chinese currency, cryptocurrency. There has been hacking issues in China, obviously, and the currency's been dropping up and down because tons of people have been hacking the cryptocurrency and stealing money.
Do we know the name of that cryptocurrency?
Yes, we do. It is currently called OneCoin, but it may change in the future as the cryptocurrency might die due to the hacking issues in China.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us on the show today and the BBC News School Report, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I didn't know that much about cryptocurrencies, but thanks boys for an amazing report, and I hope you all now understand this topic and what it is all about. Next up, a group of girls have made a report on immigration and Brexit and how it will affect the EU and the UK.
Hi there, I'm Rania, this is Magalara, and we have made a report on how Brexit and immigration will affect the EU and the UK. Let's take a look.
Welcome to our report. We are going to be talking to you about Brexit and how it affected people in the EU and the UK.
Thank you, Asia. And yes, the issue of immigration is becoming more and more severe, and Brexit will affect it as well. After we leave the EU, people who have come to live in the UK and don't have a visa will be classed as illegal immigrants. So applying for a visa now would be the right thing to do. However, people who have already had a visa will not be illegal and can live in the UK without the pressure of being an illegal immigrant over them. This goes to show that Brexit is affecting whether or not people stay, leave or move to the UK. The immigration fell by 80,000 people over the last year. 3/4 of that drop was due to the fewer EU citizens coming to live in the UK. Until Brexit actually takes place, many EU citizens have a choice to make, to leave or to stay.
Brexit is going to impact a lot of people who are currently living in the UK. Because the United Kingdom is currently in the European Union, people from other EU countries can migrate to the UK and will not be illegal. Brexit is said to be the main reason people will be migrating. Reports show that more British people are moving away from Britain rather than returning to live here. However, reports also show that the number of EU citizens leaving the UK is at its highest level for a decade, with 13,000 emigrating this year as of September. The majority of citizens from other EU countries say they come with a specific job lineup. The latest figures show that this proportion to be 47%. 16% came looking for work, 47% to study, and 20% to join family members in the UK. Others had not stated a reason. Immigration fell by 80,000 over the last year. 3/4 of that drop was due to fewer EU citizens coming to live in the UK. Until Brexit actually takes place, many EU citizens have a choice to make, to stay or to leave.
Thank you, Khadija and Hala, for giving us a background on how Brexit will affect the UK.
Now we move on to another serious issue that will affect the lives of many people in the UK as well.
The topic we would like to discuss is immigration. Immigration has become a frequent issue in the EU and other countries, causing many problems.
The definition of immigration is the international movement of people into a destination country of which they are not natives.
Immigration in the UK has become higher and more people are coming to live in the UK instead of leaving.
More people are arriving in the UK and then leaving, meaning that the net migration is above zero, adding to the non-UK population and so the non-UK workforce.
The number of people immigrating for a definite job has remained stable, but there has been a 43% decrease in the number of people immigrating to look for work over the last year, especially for EU citizens.
These changes suggest that Brexit is likely to be a factor in people's decision to move or to or from the UK, but decisions to migrate are complex and other factors are also going to be influenced in the figures.
An estimated 220,000 citizens from other EU countries immigrated to the UK in the year to September 2017, and about 130,000 immigrated abroad.
In the year before the referendum, net EU migration was estimated at 189,000, so there's a large fall following the vote. We don't know how much of that is a direct result of the decision to leave.
Overall, us at BBC believe that immigration and Brexit are important issues regarding the EU and the UK.
Overall, we hope you understand and now have an idea of what we think of immigration, Brexit and the EU.
We hope you now have got a background on both topics and understand what it will mean for the UK and the EU.
If you have any stories on immigration or Brexit, please let us know and email us at haveyoursay@bbc.co.uk.
Thank you for listening, and now back to the studio.
Great work, girls. Let's now take a look at a few emerging news stories that affect many people in the UK today. We will look further into Brexit and the challenges we may face as a nation. We will also look at the recent referendums and debates concerning Scotland's independence from the UK and what this will mean for all four nations.
We now have a short story on the inspirational scientist Stephen Hawking by Mindfulness Wellbeing.
Stephen Hawking, one of the world's most intellectual physicists and inspirational masterminds of our time has sadly passed away. Hawking explained the behavior of black holes and even examined the origin of the universe.
Not only was he famous for his world-renowned intelligence or his resilience to motor neuron disease, but his comedic sense of humor also. He starred on some very well-known TV shows like Simpsons and Star Trek.
But very sadly, he is not going to be doing this anymore. The amazing scientist has recently passed away on the 14th of March 2018 at the age of 76.
But now all of us should be proud of the amazing Hawkins, as he made amazing discoveries and extraordinary theories. As he once quoted, "Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change."
Good work, boys. Stephen Hawking will be missed. We will now look to the future when some say flying cars will be the new norm.
Hello and welcome to BBC News School Report. Today I'm joined by two very special guests, Rahim and Abdurrahman, and today we'll be discussing the future of transport. So to begin with, can you explain the general function of flying cars?
Flying cars are like airplanes, but they're not exactly cars. They are much smaller and portable for families to travel across cities, and if so, maybe countries, as well as technology improves. The whole concept is to help families that go through traffic congestions and other things like that, and they can go through these problems by air, so there won't be many problems by air. And as we know, cars are too much, and scientists and engineers are trying to improve society and how we can all adapt to the near future. And as technology improves, we want our cars to improve as well.
Okay, so when do you think flying cars will be released and how accessible will they be?
Flying cars, you might begin to see flying cars as like the theories and the work and things like that within the next 5 to 6 years. We have a CEO, entrepreneur known as, he's the CEO of Uber, Dara Khosrow Shahi, and he believes that this will be successful, and he's trying to invent Uber taxis by working with many other companies.
However, further speculation from experts show that the idea of flying cars is beyond generations, and the idea is quite ludicrous, especially if you want to say that this technology might be around in the next couple of years. There are several reasons for this. One is simply the demand for flying cars would be dramatically low at first, as they're going to be undoubtedly very expensive to make and buy. So, but I believe that they will be successful eventually, like as once upon a time ordinary vehicles, which were made by Ford and Volkswagen at the beginning, were not common. They were for the top 1%, like we believe flying cars will be at first. But eventually they became more of a popular thing, and now everyone's lives usually revolve around cars. Another reason to say is that they can't be added into society anytime soon, is because governments would have to develop pathways in the skies, traffic lights, all kinds of things to ensure that out of nowhere two flying cars don't just crash into each other. And the money to make this would be immense. It wouldn't even be funny. And the people who would actually use flying cars would be very low at the beginning, so there wouldn't really be a point. And then once everyone can afford it, there would be no reason to have it, because the rules in the sky would be so strict, like, oh, I don't know, you can only fly at this time in case you crash into another flying car, and there might be really stricter rules on insurance and all kinds of things. So it would really be hard to see how the human society can adapt to such dramatic changes.
Okay. Well, are there any similar systems in development at the moment?
Well, there is the Hyperloop, which is like an incredibly fast train that can run up to speeds of 760 miles per hour. It is, well, we have an entrepreneur, and he is a titan of technology known as Elon Musk, and he thinks that the entire idea of flying cars is not good, as, like he mentioned, if you have drones above your house, you really love a vast number of cars flying over your head that are 1,000 times bigger and noisier, and they will blow everything that isn't nailed down away. So he's trying to say that flying cars is just a weird concept. Like, you're not going to see flying cars all over the place and everything, and there may be many serious accidents and emergencies. So instead he's come up with a more suitable approach to technology, and he's come up with the Hyperloop. And this is like it's going to be running underground, and it's known to be the future of technology. The Hyperloop involves pods traveling down a tube at high speeds, The tubes will be underground and almost empty of air, so there will be less air, which helps to reduce the friction and the resistance. It decreases it. So this means that the Hyperloop could reach from places like London to Edinburgh in less than 30 minutes, and they will be very common trains nowadays, and I believe people will find that a more suitable approach rather than flying cars.
So which one would you guys prefer, the flying cars idea or the Hyperloop idea?
I think the idea of a flying car would be much more successful for our everyday lives, as it may not start off with a flying car, but we do believe that electromagnetism underneath the bottom of cars to be installed instead of wheels would be a much greater idea, because it can be implemented into everyday systems, which means we can create systems to prevent car accidents that would narrow down deaths by cars by an immense number. And then this would take into effect the idea that self-driving cars could come into it, and next thing you know we'll be having self-driving planes and all kinds of things where people won't have to drive anymore, and flying cars will become much better than the Hyperloop, as there won't be any services need to be done for it. It'd be more like a self-updating sort of thing like we have nowadays.
I disagree with what Abdurrahman said. I'd rather go for the practical Hyperloop. It's based like a train, which may soon be, like he said, driverless, and you might just need to buy a ticket and a virtual ticket and things like that, and may just enter the train, and you might reach your destination within 15-20 minutes without having the need of a flying car, having problems of landing and flying, and maybe all the problems that can be created through the air and what happens in the atmosphere. So I believe the Hyperloop is a much sensible approach, as in countries like Saudi Arabia, there's been many tests with the Hyperloop, and they have so far been successful, whilst the flying cars, we still haven't heard about them. They've been going on for ages and ages, but there hasn't been a proper test for a flying car till now.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us on the show today.
Over to you.
Now we have had a look at all of our outstanding stories. Let's hand it over to Khadija and Rania so they can give us a quick review on the weather this week. Over to you girls.
Hello and welcome to the weather report. Today we are looking to have a cloudy and wet afternoon across the north and east of the country. It will be brighter in the south and west, but later on through the day showers will develop and it will potentially be quite heavy with thunder. Rain will continue in eastern Scotland and northern England tonight, turning to sleet and snow on high ground. Showery rain will move north into southern counties. It will continue to be windy in the north again. For the rest of this week, the temperatures will range from 13 to 5 degrees with possible snow on Sunday. Towards the south, the temperatures will vary from 13 to 8 degrees.
As you can see, through Thursday and Friday in Edinburgh, there will be light showers and temperatures ranging from 6 to 7 degrees Celsius. However, temperatures will drop through Saturday and it will be cloudy. In Belfast, local people will be expecting light rain and temperatures similar to Edinburgh. Cardiff will be seeing slightly warmer temperatures, and while at London will be seeing a bit of sleet.
Right, now let's hand over to Maida and Hannah to provide us with some information on the Denbigh news and our successes academically, sports-wise, and what is happening in school. We're doing amazing here in Denbigh.
Thanks, Muskan. So firstly, some primary school children visited Denbigh to do some experiments in honour of Science Week, and some classes had an extra fun science rocket challenge, and they will enter the regional finals very soon. Also, our Year 9s were placed first at the Bedfordshire Festival after performing a scripted play titled Mugged. The adjudicator commented that this was an electrifying performance that deals with mature themes of inclusion. Incredibly powerful and compelling, and we are very proud to announce that
Denbigh won the people's most listened to for the Luton crime advert with a whopping 3,434 views. This was in competition against many other schools around Luton and Bedfordshire. Have a look, the details are on screen now. Once again, our young enterprise group went through the finals for their product, Corner Clips.
Our school is packed with creativity and we are proud of how we are doing as a community. Also, we express ourselves through taking part in sports, journalism and science.
Thank you for watching Denbigh High School's BBC News Report. What did you think about our stories? Do you agree or disagree? Please check out our Twitter page at Denbigh High to comment on our news stories, and also check our school website, which is www.denbighhigh.luton.sch.uk. Overall, we hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Thank you for watching. From all the school report team at Denbigh High School, we wish you a very good afternoon.